Alright YouTube, what's happening? We got a kind of a sneak peek knife here. This is a new model in a brown cardboard box that's from Mass Drop, or now known as Drop. That's not confusing at all. This is the Raine Jungle Wear, and this is a new knife that is actually active right now on Drop for $249. You can get it in a few different colors. Let me look at the color options. Oh, the red and black one is so cool looking, I think. But they sent this to our pattern group. So you've got Arctic Storm, green, this is this one, purple, and red. So I'll give you a little background on these, on the kind of the materials used here. You've got RWL 34 stainless with a hollow saber grind and a little bit of, well, actually not a little bit, a pretty good recurve right there. You got a stone-washed finish, or it can come in PVD if you get the Mars one. It's obviously a flipper of bearings, ceramic bearings, hardened washers, milled titanium pocket clip. Blade length is 3.5 inches, cutting edge is 3.3. Your thickness is 4 millimeters. Blade thickness. Ooh, I like that they're doing that now. Way to go! So I just was looking at the specs on this guy because to me, I just barely got this in. For the pattern, they're actually putting the behind the edge thickness. They're doing it in millimeters, which is strange. So let's see. Oh yeah, buddy, 15 thousandths. So that probably equals to 0.3 millimeters. Handle length is 4.7. It's a little wide. It's 0.6 inches. I like that they're doing all these new specs because they're actually adding way more specs than normal, which I really like. Because they're giving the handle widths, they're also giving it with the width with the clip, which is 0.7 inches. Pretty cool. Overall length is 8.2 ounces and it weighs overall length is 8.2 inches, weighs 5.8 ounces. So, like I said, really cool colors. I'll put a link in the description. If you're not signed up for Drop, you can utilize my link, which helps me out and helps you out. We both get 10 bucks. But anyway, Blue Arctic Storm. This is the green. They didn't have the red Mars Valley one. That one is slick looking for sure. So they're using a... These are made by Riyadh, as you guys probably would have guessed, because they're doing all the Kirby Lambert collaboration. I'm trying to figure out what they call this material. It's a carbon fiber, I believe, and it's just got a really cool pattern. And they used the same carbon fiber just in multiple colors on this knife. There's a name for it and it's escaping me. Let's see, I'm looking at this thing on Mass Drop, so I apologize, but I can't remember what this part is called. It's just a carbon fiber, but like I said, a bunch of different colors it comes in. And fat carbon, that's what it's called. Found fat carbon used for the scales. Alright, that's what I was trying to find out. Cool. Alright, so enough about specs and stuff. Let's give you my first impressions. Not a review, just a first impressions video. I was pretty dang impressed when I opened this baby up. It's a beefy knife for sure. Pretty thick, good sized. So let's do some size comparisons. We went over the specs, but the best thing to do, I feel, is to compare to commonly known knives like the Hinder XM18, for example. About the same size. Strider SNG. About the same size. And how about a smaller knife? The Para 3. You can see it's bigger than the Para 3 if we go butt to butt. So just to give you guys an idea of how, so it's a medium-sized knife. Pretty beefy. One more just for fun because I had it with me. So I was carrying today is the Mini Griptilian Doug Ritter M390. Alright, so there's some size comparisons for you. It is a little thicker in the handle. Does feel really nice though. I love the stone washing on the bolsters. And one thing I really appreciated with this versus other Mass Drop knives, I'm going to get used to calling it that, is there's no branding. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I believe that's how it's going to be the case on the production of these, because these are in production right now. The Drop is still running. Let me see if I can see when it ends. 7 days left. Not a lot left. Jeez, I thought that would have been longer than that. So a week from this video, the drop will be closed. So $249, very good price for Riot quality. Materials are good. Ardell 34, heat treated well, is a good steel. Nice jimping on the flipper tab here. Really, really good. Initial ergonomics, and I'm going to call it that from now on, is really good. I say initial ergonomics because when you first get a knife in hand and you think, oh, that fits for my hand really well, you don't really understand the ergonomics of the knife until you get it really using it. So I haven't had a chance to even use this for anything yet. This is just a first impressions video, but the initial ergonomics are very good. It feels very comfortable in the hand. Nice jimping, like I said there. Jimping on the flipper tab as well. Beautiful stone washing. So no branding, just the Kirby Lambert spider, which is a really cool logo. And then on this side, on the pivot, you have a D. That's the new Drop logo. That I dig. It's very subtle. It doesn't scream banners all over the place. The one thing I really like about Drop is they listen to knife community. They don't. We've been telling ZT and all those companies for years, stop with all the banners. What do? They throw banners all over their knives, just tons of them. So it's nice to see a manufacturer. I mean, Drop is not the manufacturer, but they're listening with the designing, and producing it, or working with the Riot and Kirby Lambert to produce these knives, and they're listening, and they're not putting a lot of banners all over it. It's very, very sterile, except for that one Lambert logo. So, and then the little D on the pivot. Really cool touch. Nice bolster lock, super smooth. One thing I also noticed that was really cool is the backspacer. So it's the same carbon fiber as this, and it has some, looks like bronze spacers here that it kind of rides on. You can see there, and it kind of tapers down, and then it comes under this lanyard tube here, as you can see. Not lanyard tube, but we'll just call it lanyard attachment point. And it kind of flares out right here, right? And it stops right there. What's cool about it is that's where the blade rests. It literally, when it drops shut, rests right. I mean, I don't know if it's actually touching or not. It's hard to tell. But if it did touch it, that's where it would rest. So you don't have any kind of worry about clipping your finger. I think you may have, if you didn't have that little stop there before from the spacer. That's a cool little design touch where you're not going to accidentally poke your finger right there, because you can't, because of this carbon fiber, and it's all part of the backspacer. So really, really well thought out design. Nice stone washing on the pocket clip. I have clipped it to my pocket. I did carry it last night after I got it in the mail, and it's a pretty standard milled pocket clip. It's not, it's easy to get on and off. Not deep carry by any stretch, but not crazy like amount sticking up either. So that's kind of what your pocket clip looks like. So overall, first impressions are good. I'll do a full review on this knife as well after doing some use with it. The sensitive thing about these knives with the pass-around groups is we need to kind of keep them in good condition and such, and not beat on them for the pass-around, because I'm the first one to get it. Especially, I can't be going off and just doling the blade, and they don't want us to sharpen them. There's lots of parameters we have to live by, which is fine. It gives us the ability to view these knives ahead of time, and this one's even out yet, and to be able to just bring content to you guys without having to fork out all the money. So very blessed to be part of the pass-around group, and it's awesome. So this knife is really good. First impressions are great. I'm going to carry it and use it this week before I pass it around to the next person and give you my final thoughts in a different video. I'll do some use with it, some light use, nothing crazy, but definitely want to get a feel for the ergonomics of the blade. But I can tell you right now, on the hammer grip here, which is usually the grip that I'm using to do harder cuts, it feels very good. I don't imagine that it's going to have any hot spots. It doesn't feel like it. So it is a beefy user folder. I think this is going to be definitely, it is really nice looking. Like I said, the blue and the purple look really sweet, and I think you'll see some videos coming out, I think, on those other ones. I don't know that anybody got the PVD and the red, the black blade, because it looks hot. That's definitely the one I would pick up. I will say the one thing I'm not a big fan of is recurves. Never liked recurves. I do think they cut well, but they're just such a pain to sharpen. And as someone that sharpens knives, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to sharpen that. So anyway, guys, that's my first impressions. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Kirby Lambert Raine with Drop. Again, these are live. I will link that in the description down below. See you next time.